That brings me to the heart of what I wanted to talk about today, which are the benefits of the keto diet. What sets it apart from all the other diets? As mentioned in previous videos, I have struggled with weight the majority of my life. And over that time, I have tried several different diet plans.
Like all of them.
Weight Watchers, Slim Fast, straight calorie counting, low fat, high carbohydrate, the military diet, the egg fast, something called Michi's Ladder. I mean, you get the idea.
Would you like to know what state they all left me in?
Starving and essentially unchanged, or worse off. Yes, I may have lost some weight initially, but it eventually came back, and then some. And they are very hard to stick with over any length of time.
This is just my opinion. The truth is, everyone has to figure out what works best for them.
I was raised in the era where the low-fat diet became vastly popular and was promoted as the healthy diet. This whole idea of low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet started in the late 50s. At least that's when doctors and physicians started grabbing onto it and pushing it. But it really exploded in the 1980s.
Any other 80s children remember eating Snackwell cookies back in the day?
However, if we look at the data on obesity, it hasn't gotten any better since that time.
Quite the opposite, actually.
The obesity rate has gone up from under 15%, where it was in the 1970s, to where it is now at almost 40%. Also, in 1958, less than 1% of Americans were diagnosed with diabetes. Fast forward to now, over 10% of the US has been diagnosed with diabetes. That's an increase of over 1,000%. Also, another 5% have undiagnosed diabetes. Another 40% are in some form of pre-diabetes. That's over half the US population.
If the low-fat, heart-healthy diet really is the answer, how can this be?
That brings us to the first obvious benefit of the keto diet, which is weight loss.
I will start with the benefits that I have personally experienced.
We'll get into much more details of these benefits in future videos, but for today I just want to give a brief overview. I will post links in the description below if you'd like to find out some more information.
If you are into nerdy research as much as I am.
As discussed in episode 1 from 2017 to 2019, I lost around 100 pounds on the keto diet. We've been taught that fat is the enemy our whole lives, so it is hard to believe that you can lose weight and get healthy on a high-fat diet.
So how does it work?
Without getting too into the weeds, because you've likely already heard all this before, but when you restrict your carbohydrates, eat moderate protein, it forces your body into a state of ketosis. When that happens, your body becomes a fat-burning machine, with fat being the primary fuel source for your body. This makes it very easy for your body to go to your fat source for energy when you're in a calorie deficit, but it also leads to some other great benefits. I used to have high blood pressure and I had to take daily medication for it.
And that was in my 30s. People that young shouldn't have to be on medication for their blood pressure.
Well, I'm no longer on medication and my blood pressure is controlled. In studies, it has been found that obese people have a more effective drop in blood pressure on a keto diet versus a low-fat diet. While overall weight loss may be comparable on a low-fat diet, the systolic blood pressure in the keto group decreased while it increased in the low-fat group. Another personal benefit that I experienced, I used to break out in red whelps and itch. Different parts of my body, completely random, happened every day. I had to take an allergy pill every day just to keep it tolerable. I always figured I was allergic to something, but I never found out what it was. After a few months on the keto diet, no more medication, no itching, no problems. There's no research I can point to on this one, but I can tell you that I experienced it firsthand. One of my favorite benefits is the energy boost. Before starting keto, I was tired, fatigued, all the time, didn't have energy to do anything. Pretty much I was lazy. And this was the same on other diets that I had tried in the past. After I started keto,
And getting through the keto flu, of course.
I truly felt a boost in my energy levels. I'm not yawning all day like in days past. I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritty science behind this, but it has to do with better mitochondrial function and less reactive oxygen species.
Which are just fancy terms to say that the cells in your body are creating energy more efficiently.
Naps are a thing of the past for me now. I just can't do it.
I used to live for those lazy Sunday afternoon naps.
One of the other great benefits that I personally experienced is appetite suppression. In the past on other types of diets, I would constantly be starving. I just thought it was what you had to live with in order to lose weight. Then came the keto diet, and I realized you could eat a calorie deficit and not be hungry all the time. I've been eating under 1,500 calories a day for the most part.
And I can go to bed without my stomach feeling like it's eating itself.
From a scientific standpoint, fat offers more calories per gram than carbohydrates or protein.
So fat has 9 calories per gram compared to carbs and protein that only have 4 calories per gram.
This allows you to get satiated much faster when eating fat. The other big factor is without all the carbohydrates, you're not having all these wild up and down swings with your insulin, which cause you hunger pangs and cravings. These are some of the benefits that I can attest to based on my experience with keto. But there are so many other benefits out there that are backed by research. One being diabetes and blood sugar control. This one is very important to me because my family has a very strong history when it comes to diabetes.
My family pretty much is the history of diabetes.
This one's pretty obvious. The less sugar you consume, the less sugar in your bloodstream. This means that most people have almost an immediate drop in blood sugar when they start the keto diet. The big call out for this one though is if you are already diagnosed with diabetes, you will want to work closely with your physician to adjust your medication as your body adjusts to keto. Next, inflammation, our body's immune response to all kinds of things. However, too much inflammation and you end up with unpleasant symptoms like pain, joint discomfort, fatigue, etc. As your body enters ketosis, chemicals are produced that inhibit inflammatory pathways, and it activates pathways that suppress an inflammatory response. These same chemicals have been shown to have effects similar to NSAIDs like ibuprofen.
What? And if you think it was confusing hearing all that, you should try saying it. You get the idea though. The keto diet may be able to help those who struggle with inflammatory disorders.
The keto diet is also full of foods that are known for their anti-inflammatory properties. Cholesterol is a benefit that most people would question, as it seems eating a diet high in fat would increase your cholesterol. The first thing we have to realize is that our bodies need cholesterol. In fact, they produce 3,000 milligrams of cholesterol on their own every single day, regardless of what we eat. On the keto diet, a lot of people will see a decrease in triglycerides and an increase in HDL cholesterol, or good cholesterol. Some may see a rise in LDL cholesterol. Weight loss of any kind can lead to a temporary rise in LDL cholesterol. It is recommended to wait 6 months after starting the keto diet or until your weight loss is stabilized before getting lab work done. There is a link in the description below that has more information and details around this. Heart health is another surprising benefit, as we have been told our whole lives that the key to cardiovascular health is eating a low-fat diet. A study was completed on men with normal weight and normal lipid panels. They were placed on the keto diet for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, 22 of 26 biomarkers for heart disease showed significant improvement. Brain health is another benefit. In fact, the keto diet was first used in the 1920s to treat patients with neurological disorders like epilepsy. As we age, our brains can lose the ability to efficiently use glucose or sugar for fuel. When we're on the keto diet, our bodies use ketones as a primary source of fuel, which our brains can also use. Recent studies have shown that the keto diet can help to reverse symptoms in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's patients. More research is needed in this area, but the initial results are very promising. Migraine sufferers may also like to know that the keto diet can help to reduce and in some cases eliminate migraines. A study found that participants on the keto diet reported a reduction in headaches and medication use. It is believed that this has something to do with the brain and/or inflammation benefits. Other recent studies have shown that the keto diet may actually aid in the fight against cancer, alongside other cancer treatments. It has been found that at least some cancers can't use ketones for energy, which means when you're on the keto diet, in effect, you are starving the cancer cells. This was not an all-inclusive list, as there are other benefits out there. For example, the keto diet has been shown in studies to improve our gut health, which strengthens our immune system.
I will not say 1 + 1 = 2, but what I will say is when I was on the keto diet from 2017 to 2019, I didn't get sick one time.
All of these benefits make sense when you think of it in terms of our ancestors, where we came from. Their diet didn't include most of the things we consume in the standard American or Western diet. So what did our ancestral diet look like? Meat and things that grew from the ground. They didn't even know what sugar was, aside from fruit, which was only seasonal except for a few regions.
Sounds a lot like the keto diet. So I'd love to know what your favorite benefit of the keto diet is. Let me know in the comments below.